I'd say the number one thing I see brokers do that makes them, I don't want to say fail, but not achieve their full potential is they don't have a set calling routine, right? I mean, I'd say 9 out of 10 brokers, not saying out of the ones that we coach, but just 9 out of 10 brokers that are in commercial real estate, their calling consists of each week or each day, they pull up CoStar and they pull a list of owners in a certain area or however they search it, and they just start making calls. But if you think about it, how are you ever going to build a relationship if every time you go to make calls, you're just picking random people to call, right? The whole point of having the call calendar and having the 100 and 300 list is you're building a relationship with those people. It doesn't mean you're not calling people outside of that, right? You're calling your inactive clients and you're calling your 100 and your 300. And if you call those people on a consistent basis, right? Those 100 are being called every month. Those 300 are being called every quarter. And then you, depending on your inactive clients, they're getting spread out over that. And you're calling them over and over and over. And then you're sending them emails, right? You're sending them physical mail and you're meeting with them in person every once in a while. You're going to build a relationship. But however many of us, and we've all had it, I'm sure, how many have talked to someone and then 6 months, 12 months later, whatever, you see an announcement for a transaction. You're like, I talked to that person. Why didn't they give it to me? Right? We've all done it. But the reality is, if you talked to them 6 months ago or a year ago, you're not talking to them enough, right? You got to identify who are the most important people that you should be talking to and call them on a consistent basis and add value for them on a consistent basis. I tell people all the time, like, it's not our job to convince someone to buy or sell. It's not our job to convince someone to lease something, right? It's our job to be there to add value, to be in front of them, to help them out. And if we do that enough, when they're ready to sell, we're going to be the ones they pick, right? And so the only way to make that happen is to call them on a regular basis, be in front of them. And a lot of times it happens to be, the right place at the right time. But if you're calling them on a regular basis, your odds of being there at the right place at the right time are going to be a lot higher than if you're just randomly picking people out of CoStar and randomly pulling call lists.